Hello everyone, my name is Nicole Haraguchi. So I'm going to talk about my sustainable food production in space. So as you can see, I just wanted to give you a little bit of background on why I started this sustainable food production. So it started with my If You Can Dream Foundation, which is a foundation helping students with special needs worldwide. And so while I was helping those students, I realized there were several problems and disasters due to climate change. And so I wanted to make a solution that can help solve and benefit these problems. So that's when the sustainable food production comes in. And so it uses modern food production systems integrated with green technology, which makes it sustainable. And so it helps support the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, which is number 1, 2, 3, 7, 9, 11, 12, 13, and 15, as you can see here. So the sustainable food production has multiple benefits, like it lowers the carbon dioxide emissions, which helps reduce climate change and all these different disasters. It also has no water waste, so it uses only 10% of the agriculture today. It has no chemical runoffs, which helps the biodiversity in the oceans and rivers. It is lower cost, so it's super cheap. It can be produced locally or around the world, and it has no population migration, which since the sustainable food production can be anywhere, people won't have to move other places just to have it. This is so as you can see here was only what I just stated was only the discovering and the imagining. So that was only 1% of my effort. So the most biggest effort was the building and sharing. So for the building, I created the aquaponics, which is how it works is that whenever the fish makes feces, it goes through a tube all the way to the plants, and the feces from the fish is actually nutrients for the plants to help it grow, and the plants filter the water and bring clean water back into the tank. So this all goes in a cycle. As you can see here are all the different technologies that I used, such as the solar generator and the solar panel to power the entire thing. So I also created the water level alarm. So whenever the water is too low, um, it can set off the alarm. And so I can be able to refill the tank. And so it uses a distance sensor and an Arduino coding to be able to make this work. I also use the water collection system. And so how this one works is that it uses a pelleter device, which brings cold air going cold air going out and hot air going in. Hot air going out and cold air going in. And so whenever it's very hot and humid outside, and so whenever it's nighttime, I can put it out there. And so it will use condensation to be able to bring water back into the pan. And so I collect that. And how much I collected in one night was 165 milliliters. So I'm thinking about upgrading this so I can get more water. I also made the microgreens, this is mostly for plants at its sprouting age. And so it uses, what I used here in this photo was radish, and it uses a cocoa coir uh, substrate, so it does not need any soil. And as you can see, I was able to make this grow. I also used the sprouting, and right here is the mung bean sprout, and does not need any substrate or any soil, just water in it. And as you can see here, it worked as well. So I also made the hydroponics, and so how this one works is that it uses uh, fertilizer in the water, which are in these two buckets, and it will go in a cycle so it does not make any fertilizer runoffs into the oceans and rivers. And it's only using 10% of the water, as I said, used in agriculture. And so this is mostly for bigger plants like broccoli or tomatoes. So as you can see here, all the different types of systems are for the different stages of the plant. So for sprouting and microgreens, as I said, it's mostly at its sprouting age or when it's young. The aquaponics is for medium plants or when it's at the middle of the age, which is like mint or basil. And also like aeroponics and hydroponics, as I said, those are for bigger plants like tomatoes and broccoli. So I added a new one, which is called spores, and I which is I'm researching on fungi. But why did I choose fungi? Well, fungi actually helped terraform our planet 650 million years ago, and so it helped break up rocks and turn it into soil, so it paved the way to bring animals and plants into Earth. So fungi is like the wood wide web, and so it interconnects all the plants in the forest. So it has a symbiotic relationship for the protection of the weak trees. And so how it works is that whenever a tree is in sunlight and one of the trees are in the shadow, that tree in the shadow is weak, and so the fungi gets the nutrients from the plant that is strong and brings the nutrients to the weak plants so the weak plant can still grow. So, what can fungi help provide for us? Well, it can be as food. It can help. It has solar radiation protection. So, whenever if we're going to bring this into Mars, it can actually help protect from the solar radiation from the sun. It can be used as medicine, construction, energy. So, as you can see, here are all the things that fungi can do. So this is my fungi experiment. So that's why I added spores so I can experiment on fungi, and I made this mushroom as you can see here. So I also did sharing as well, as I said, like I shared it to schools, conferences like this one, and the community. I also shared it doing multiple competitions and fairs. So I used my sustainable food production in these competitions, and these are all the awards that I won using this system. So I also am working with NASA to bring part of my sustainable food production into space. So this was called Cubes in Space. It just launched yesterday. And so it's up in 39 kilometers above sea level. And so my experiment on this is to have all these plants in these bags. So one of the bags are going to be protected using radiation protection. One of the bags are going to be unprotected, and one of the bags is going to be kept in here on Earth. So once I get my the bags back to me, I'm going to plant it so I can experiment how radiation affects these plants. And so I'm going to check the growth rate and the germination rate. So join me on any of these STEM adventures. As you can see, are the adventures that are happening sooner and now. And so if you want to join me, just send me a note at my Gmail or visit my homepage, which is www.innovationinternational.org. So thank you so much for listening. If you have any questions, as I said, you have my email right here, and so or visit any of my websites. So thank you so much for having me. Bye.